busy cooking when arms suddenly slide around her waist, making her jump in fright. She gasped, almost dropping the spoon. A soft chuckle reached her ears. Relax, it's just me. She exhaled sharply, her shoulders relaxing as she realized it was Jungkook. You scared me, she complained, placing her hand over her heart. Jungkook rested his chin on her shoulder. Jungkook rested his chin on her shoulder, his arms tightening around her a little. Sorry, he murmured, not sounding sorry at all. But you look cute when you are focused. Vine rolled her eyes through a smile tugged at her lips. Let go, I'm cooking. No, he replied instantly, swaying them gently. I missed you. That's a valid reason. She shook her head, laughing softly. You are impossible and you love me, he said smugly. Vine turned slightly in his arms, meeting his gaze. Unfortunately, she teased before leaning and pressing a quick peck to his cheek. Jungkook froze for half a second, then grinned like an idiot, tightening his hold on her. Worth it. Vine, leave all this, come with me, Jungkook said softly, glancing at the clock on the wall. She followed his gaze. 11:45 p.m. Only 15 minutes left till 12, he added, his voice carrying a strange urgency. Vine frowned slightly. Where are we going? Jungkook, the food can wait, he cut in gently, reaching for her hand. His grip was warm, reassuring. This can't. She searched his face, trying to read what he wasn't saying. There was excitement there and something else, something nervous. Trust me, he asked quietly. Vine hesitated for barely a second before nodding. Okay. A small smile broke across his face, relieved, grateful. He tugged her closer, already pulling her toward the door. Shoes jacket, he said quickly, half laughing. We are racing time. Vine grabbed her jacket, her heart starting to race for a reason she couldn't quite explain. As they stepped out together, the night air wrapped around them, cool and electric. Behind them, the clock kept ticking. 11:46 p.m. Whatever Jungkook had planned, it was waiting on the other side of midnight. Suddenly, Jungkook blindfolded Vine, making her squeal in surprise. Jungkook, she exclaimed. Yes, Sarah, he replied softly, instantly warming her cheeks. Where are we going? She asked as he gently guided her forward. Just trust me, he murmured, sealing her lips into silence with his tone. After a few steps, they finally stopped. Jungkook slowly removed the blindfold. Vine turned around instinctively to look for him, but he was nowhere in sight. Her gaze shifted forward and she froze. Golden lights shimmered beneath a canopy of trees, a beautifully set table glowing softly in the middle of lush greenery. Candles flickered, flowers framed the path, and quiet night wrapped everything in magic. Vine's breath pitched, her eyes widened in pure awe. She walked toward the table, her steps slow and hesitant, as if she was afraid the moment might disappear if she moved too fast. The soft crunch of gravel echoed beneath her feet. Fairy lights glowed warmly above, candles flickered gently, and the night air felt calm, almost sacred. Her fingers brushed the edge of the tablecloth as she reached it, heart pounding. Jungkook, she whispered softly, her voice barely louder than the rustling leaves, and then she felt it. A familiar presence behind her. Happy birthday, Vine. The familiar voices burst out together, loud and warm, wrapping around her all at once. Her breath hissed. Vine's eyes shimmered as she slowly turned, taking everyone in. Jimin grinning like a proud brother, her friends standing close with soft smile, laughter and love shining on their faces. Fairy lights reflected in her teary eyes, blurring the scene into something unreal. She pressed a hand to her mouth, overwhelmed. You all. Her voice trembled as a tear slipped down her cheek. You did all this for me? Jimin stepped forward first, ruffling her hair gently. It's your birthday, idiot. Soft laughter followed, but Vine couldn't laugh yet. Her chest felt too full. Then she felt him before she saw him. Jungkook stepped into her view, holding a small cake, candles glowing softly. Her eyes were gentle, steady only for her. Make a wish, he said quietly, like the words were meant just for her. Vine looked at him, then at everyone around her. She closed her eyes, palm pressed together, her whispering 1,000 thank yous at once. She leaned forward and blew out the candles. Cheers erupted again, louder this time, but Vine was already crying, smiling through her tears, knowing one thing for sure, this wasn't just a birthday, it was love wrapped in lights, laughter, and the people who choose her. The birthday party was slowly winding down. Laughter faded into soft chatter as people began leaving. The night dimmer now, the night calmer. One stood a little away, her eyes finding Jungkook near the edge. Standing close to the railing, the cool breeze brushing past him, she glanced back once. Jimin caught her eye and winked knowingly before quietly walking away, giving them space. Wine walked up to Jungkook, her voice soft. "Thank you, Jungkook." He turned to her, a gentle smile forming. Without a word, he pulled her into a warm hug. After a moment, he leaned back just enough to look at her. "I don't want to thank you," he said, a mischievous glint in his eyes. "I want something more." Wine blinked, confused. "What?" Jungkook took a small breath, then slowly went down on one knee. Wine's heart stopped. He reached into his pocket and took out a small box. "No, don't tell me," she whispered, shaking her head, overwhelmed. Jungkook smiled softly and opened the box, revealing a delicate ring. Wine's eyes widened as tears spilled down her cheeks. "Jungkook," she breathed, "will you be mine, Park Wine?" he asked quietly, sincerity pouring into every word. She nodded immediately, tears falling freely now. "Yes, Jungkook." She held out her trembling hand. Jungkook slid the ring onto her finger, his own hands shaking slightly. Wine dropped arms and hugged him tightly, both of them still on their knees, holding each other like the world had narrowed down to just them. "I've been loving you for 3 years," Jungkook murmured against her hair. "At first, I thought it was just attraction, but then I realized my love for you has no end." Park Wine. Wine clutched him even tighter, her voice breaking with emotion. Under the quiet night sky, with the last echoes of a birthday still lingering, they held each other, no longer just a moment but a promise. The days passed by, and with each one their bond only grew stronger, deeper, warmer, unbreakable. One evening, Wine unlocked the door and stepped inside, still lost in her thoughts. But the moment she looked up, she froze. Her parents was sitting there. She dropped her back on the couch with a soft thud and walked into the kitchen, her movements quick and tense. She poured herself a glass of water, then another, more out of habit than need. Taking a stirring breath, she carried them back to the living room. Her parents were already seated there. Her mother's posture was straight, composed, almost rigid. Her father sat with his hands folded, eyes sharp behind the glasses, his gaze fixed on Wine. The moment she entered, "Mom, Dad, good evening." Wine sat quietly, setting the glasses down. Neither of them returned her greeting. Her father finally spoke, his voice flat and controlled. "You're late." Yes, there was some extra work today." Wine replied, forcing her shoulders to relax. Her mother's eyes narrowed slightly, her expression unreadable. "Sit." It wasn't just a request. Wine sat down slowly, her back stiff, her fingers curling together in her lap. Her father leaned forward just a little, enough to make the tension in the room tighten. "You have been distracted lately," he said coldly. "Your routine has changed." Wine swallowed. "I'm managing everything." "That's not what we asked." Her mother cut in sharply. "We didn't raise you to be careless." Silence fell thick and suffocating. Her father's voice followed, precise and firm. "There are expectations tied to your name, Wine, and we don't tolerate mistakes." Wine lowered her gaze, her heart pounding, the weight of their words pressing down on her chest. Her mother crossed her arms, eyes unwavering. "We need to talk," she said curtly. The room felt colder than before, as if warmth itself had been pushed out, leaving Wine sitting alone between two sharp, unyielding figures. Wine's head remained lowered, as if this was silence. This heaviness was something she had lived through many times before. Then her father spoke again. "You will be married in 3 days." The words landed like a blow. Wine's breath hitched sharply. Her fingers clutched in her lap as her head snapped up, eyes widening in disbelief. "What?" she whispered. Her mother didn't flinch. Not even a trace of hesitation crossed her face. "The arrangements are already done," she said coolly. "The family is respectable, the match is suitable." Wine's heart dropped straight to her stomach. 3 days. Her voice trembled. Despite her effort to stay composed, "That's impossible. You can't just, you don't get to decide that." Her father interrupted, his tone sharp, final. "This is what's best for you, for me." Wine echoed softly, almost hollow. She stood up without realizing it, her hands shaking at her sides. "You didn't even ask me." Her mother finally looked at her fully, ice cold, assessing like this was a negotiation, not her daughter's life. "We informed you," she corrected. "That's enough." Wine felt her chest tighten, her heart beat loud in her ears. "I have a life," she said, barely holding herself together. I have dreams. Her father rose to his feet too, towering over her with an authority that left no room for argument. Dreams don't build stability when obedience does. Silence crashed between them. Vanya's lips parted, but no words came out this time. Her vision blurred, not with tears, she refused to let them see that, but with the realization settling deep inside her. This wasn't just a discussion, it was a command. Her mother turned away first, already done with the conversation. Be ready, she said over her shoulder, and don't embarrass us. Maya stood there frozen as they walked out past her, leaving her alone in the room. The walls closing in, the future she thought she had slipping out of her grasp in just 3 days. Thank you for reading. And if you are someone new here, make sure to check out my other stories on YT and my Indian themed book on Wattpad by Vivi Writes. Thank you.